again about COVID advanced vaccine mandates. So before we get started, I would appreciate it if you click the subscribe button down below and click the bell to get a notice when we put up new content. So, one of my favorite scenes or favorite lines really, from The Princess Bride is when our heroes take the body of Wesley to Miracle Max, played by Billy Crystal. And they're like, can you do a miracle? And he's like, I've seen worse. And Miracle Max says that their friend Wesley is only mostly dead. So, what does this have to do with vaccines? Well, you've probably heard about the Supreme Court's ruling that the OSHA mandate for companies with 100 or more employees having to either vaccinate their employees or require weekly testing, mask wearing, things like that. The Supreme Court struck that down and said, nope, you can't do that. But, so and we're going to get to the but, the Biden administration pulled the emergency temporary standard, but did not actually withdraw the proposed rule. So, what does that mean? Well, the Supreme Court said that the emergency temporary standard that can't stand for a variety of reasons, but they put this little caveat in there that said if OSHA can come up with a more targeted regulation, then maybe that targeted regulation would stand. So that's what OSHA is doing. So, despite the fact that the immediate emergency temporary standard and the immediate vaccine mandate is dead, it turns out that the idea of the vaccine mandate is only mostly dead. The proposed rule is still in place. So, between the Supreme Court's sort of carve out caveat and the OSHA's general duty standard, so, just as a quick refresher, the general duty standard says that an employer has a general duty to protect its employees from known hazards that may cause serious injury or death. So, the question becomes, does the known hazard of COVID exposure create a serious injury, a serious risk of injury or death? And for what kind of workers? Okay, so I do think that OSHA is going to continue forward with the notice and comment because they've pretty much said that they will. The notice and comment period is a time in which the members of the public can comment on a proposed regulation. The proposing agency, in this case OSHA, will have to review those comments and then maybe they modify the standard, maybe they don't. So there's a couple of things that I think are likely to happen. One, I think OSHA is going to do something that's going to narrow the scope of this particular mandate in one way, meaning they're going to focus more on certain kinds of employees in certain kinds of situations. And these are probably going to be situations in which there is a lot of potential contact with people outside the workplace, so with customers. So think restaurants, think um, amusement parks, think concert halls and movie theaters and things like this, where there's a large number of members of the public coming in. And I think that those are going to be industries that are going to see that. Now, some people may ask about healthcare. Well, healthcare workers are covered under the CMS standard, which is the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. That particular mandate is still in place. So the Supreme Court didn't strike that one down, just the OSHA mandate. So healthcare workers, people where there's going to be a lot of public, I think you're going to see those kinds of things. I also think that the OSHA is going to expand the number of businesses that this applies to by lowering the number of employees that are likely to be covered. One of the benefits of having the 100 or more employee standard is that, according to the Biden administration, more than 80 million people were covered under that particular standard. And if you have to carve out only certain industries, it's going to make sense for the Biden administration to start to apply that to employers with fewer than 100 employees. I could see a line at 50. I could even see a line at 15. And so keep those kinds of things in mind. So the COVID vaccine mandate from OSHA is only mostly dead. If you need to talk to somebody about the COVID vaccine policies or anything that you want to put in place, or if you want to talk about OSHA itself, give us a holler. We'll put a link to schedule a consultation with us down below. And in the meantime, go outside and watch some live soccer, everybody. Bye bye.